What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for week 19 of Backyard Bookies. Scott, 19 weeks. I can't believe we've made it this far.
Yeah, done well so far. I feel like you've done pretty well yourself. But man, 19 weeks. That's like half a year.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
a
lot.
long time.
It's it's
Um,
it's been a long
a lot, a
season.
lot of gambling. It has been a very long season. A lot of college football picks, a lot of MLB picks, but college football's over with. So we're moving on to
You-
some better sports, some professional sports, and then maybe we can move on to
Some
you know
hoops.
our our pretty good expertise here, baseball as well as
Oh,
well as basketball. But if we have a season,
too.
but
Yeah, if we have a season is a big question. Too bad you didn't end the college football season on the best of notes for you. I'm gonna blame
um,
the brain fog you were having last week.
I wouldn't even say necessarily a brain fog. I did say it was a one of those questionable weird lines that I've had before, and usually pick the opposite, and didn't do that this time, and I paid for it once again. So I think I need to just go by my gut instead of picking Nick Saban every time. But
The rat. It was a
it
rat
was a
line.
rat. It
It
was
was a
definitely
rat.
a rat. I
Everybody
mean,
took the
even
cheese.
even
It's
the
fine.
even the over under was it
That
was
was
right
close.
on it.
I got
It was just
sweaty.
under
It
it,
got
so it
sweaty at
wasn't.
the end. It got
I mean,
sweaty at
not
the end.
9-6 at halftime. That was like, okay, well, under's obviously gonna hit here, but it got a little dicey in the second half. So I mean, I wouldn't even say it was. And then of course my pick of Jameson Williams not
Tough.
of getting a touchdown. Obviously, that was a tough one. He got hurt, so and then I think even Brian Robinson was
Six,
just over
I
62.
think. I
He was
think
like
he had.
68 or
I
something.
think. I think it was 65 his over under, and he got 67 yards, and he could have
And
easily
then
lost a yard or two on a play.
yeah, and then also the Bryce Young pick. I totally forgot that sacks count as negative yards, so that changed something.
No, sacks only
I think
count as pass yards. I thought.
I think sacks count as negative rushing yards.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
So that was I think they were like minus 14. He had that in that game. So I was 0 for 5. I will happily admit that I was 0 for 5. It happens, and we'll
It,
just
it does
we'll just do better.
it does happen. Exact game, like I said, I thought we were going to see defensive wise. It got a little sweaty at the end there. I was feeling real good in the third watching that game. Like these teams aren't scoring a touchdown. Maybe we'll get one or two here, and then a couple big plays. Bama obviously scored because of the defensive turnover they forced.
Kind
But
of feel like kind of felt like in the third quarter that the first team to score a touchdown was going to win the game. I think we all thought that. I
yeah,
think we all thought it was going to be like a 13 or 14-9
maybe
or
20.
a 16-6 kind of game. But were some big scores, some quick scores. There's a pick six. There was a deep ball to from Stetson Bennett that was a catch. I
What
mean,
whatever.
and then we had that weird fumble that put Alabama in the red zone. In one little fumble that didn't even mean to pick the ball up inbound. So there's just a bunch of fluky plays that happen, and that's what happens. And you get 21 points out of that. And then
That fumble looked
you know,
like it was gonna win the game for Bama, which it killed. This is why we need to go to 2 feet because that man he was in by maybe a pube hair
like
of an inch.
a
It,
toenail.
yeah, if that, and he like just casually like caught the ball as his other foot was up, and he was just going out of bounds. I don't even know how you say he secured that, but whatever that fumble did, woke up Stetson Bennett. He was losing the national championship for Georgia. He was the problem, and then all of a sudden he turned into a guy who couldn't be stopped. So Alabama woke up a sleeping giant, I guess. So good on that. All right, wild card weekend, super wild card weekend. This weekend. We're just going to go through the games, kind of look at the lines, look at the over-unders, give us a feel for the stuff. A little bit of a lax week. We've been very busy, but still content, still content. First game up, probably the most interesting game for either team. Vegas at Cincinnati. Neither team has won a playoff game in over 20 years, so someone's breaking a streak. For that. Cincinnati, it's been like 33 or 35 years since they've won a playoff game, the longest streak in the NFL, I believe. So something's got to give here. What's your first impressions on this?
First impressions are, I think, in any NFL game, even more over the playoffs, is who's the better quarterback. So you go straight to the quarterback first. I think in this case, as well as David Carr, wow, as well as Derek Carr has been playing. I mean, they're pretty much right on passing yards, but he has better weapons to throw to. Obviously, he's got Jamar Chase, he got T Higgins, he has then has Joe Mixon as well in the backfield. Um, with Derek Carr, I mean, his best weapon is Hunter Renfrow.
He's got Waller back.
He's made a lot. Yeah, he's made a lot out of him. Right now we're looking at, so like I said, quarterback's first thing I'm looking at, and then defense. I think both are pretty much on an even playing field there. I think maybe Cincinnati also has the upper hand there. I don't think really by much. I think it's pretty much, you can look here, but yeah, I mean Cincinnati's second in sacks, passing yards 28, so they give up a lot of passing yards. The secondary is very good, but they're up front's pretty well. Fifth in rushing yards, and then Las Vegas ninth in passing, 20th in rushing. And I think the biggest thing, also another really big thing, is Las Vegas 31st in turnovers. So pretty sure Joe Burrow can probably have his way with Las Vegas defense a little bit. Right now the line's sitting at 5.5. Over/under's 49. Man, Vegas coming off that really big win in overtime.
Can't bet against Vegas. Can't bet against Vegas, it feels like.
Really hard to bet against them here. 5.5 seems like a lot. I think it is a lot. I'm gonna pick Vegas plus 5.5. Even though Joe Burrow's a better quarterback, I think they're gonna win the game. I think the Bengals will win the game in this one. It'll be close. I think it'll be a pretty high scoring game. I think it'll be like a 31-28 kind of game. So I'll also take the over 49. So
that's
Vegas 5.5 and over 49.
That's so the bet percentage 51-49. We're about as even as you're going to see, especially in a playoff game. Really, really hard for me to bet against Vegas. I know last week talking about them and the Chargers. I thought the Chargers would win. Vegas, you can't get they got a feel of a team of destiny here. I like the Bengals in this game. Neither team has really any experience. Derek Carr famously missed their one playoff appearance in 2016, the Raiders, with the broken leg. Love the over here. Like you said, 49. Neither team plays a lot of good defense. They've been known to give up points. Cincinnati's offense has been on fire. So it's going to be a high-scoring game. And Vegas' offense really hasn't struggled like you would think they would. Like you said, down a lot of weapons. Waller's back. That's a big help. Cincinnati's the 32nd ranked defense against tight ends in the league. So big mismatch there. They've been running the ball well with Josh Jacobs. He is getting a little bit healthier. He has been pretty banged up throughout the season. So I think safe play, like you said, is Vegas plus 5.5. Over seems like a really, really good play here. I haven't checked the weather in Cincinnati. It is in the afternoon, so 3:30 Central Time this game kicks off. So we're not going to really deal with super cold temperatures like we're about to deal with on the second game on Saturday. So I like this to be a very high-scoring game. I don't expect either team to be you know how like sometimes teams come out nervous first game, a little shaky. I don't expect that for either team. I think the offenses are going to come out, open it up, slinging it, and it'll be the defenses that are a little out of whack in this one. So I'm not very confident about taking Vegas plus 5.5 here because, like you said, better quarterback, better team, much better weapons for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's my MVP, I think. If anything. But if we're going for the funny thing is if we're going like real, like what the term MVP should mean, be Derek Carr. Because, I mean, without him, that organization is a dumpster fire, and he somehow got them to the playoffs with everything they've gone to. So, lean Vegas, would not touch this line. Like you said, really like the over in this game. Should be some points scored. All right, let's go. Second game on Saturday night. We got a divisional matchup. Literally a rematch of the last time these two teams played in Buffalo. We're got a blistering temperature of 0 degrees at kickoff. They're expecting Patriots at the Bills. What do you see in this game?
Oh, we're going back to that quarterback thing again. I think obviously the better quarterback in this one is Josh Allen. But as we know, they did play sort of in the exact same
I don't think it's
environment in the first game, but I wouldn't say exact same.
Not 100-mile-an-hour winds this time. I don't think.
Damn close. Yeah, I'm actually going over to
the wind tracker
weather right now in Buffalo. It's not going to be anything even close to what they had. But it is going to be 4 degrees at kickoff. I think it's going to be like -10, -5 wind chill. Something pretty crazy like that. I think honestly, as if Josh Allen can feel his toes, like he said,
There's a solution to
he
that.
will cover, he will win. Yeah, exactly. I don't. This is Mac Jones' first playoffs. Obviously not Bill Belichick's, but Mac Jones, he's the guy that has to go out there and play. So I think it's honestly this is gonna be a pretty easy one. -4 Buffalo. I love that a lot. I think they're um, in a much better position to win than the Patriots are. But there's also that Bill Belichick magic, so you never really know what's gonna happen.
It's scary.
I think 4 points is plenty. I don't think there'd be very many field goals. Because I don't know if those two kickers will be able to feel their toes, but we'll see. Kicking literally a rock is a cold rock at 5 degrees is something. So, I'm gonna take Buffalo -4, and I think both teams will be able to pass the ball a little bit, not as much. It's a little bit warmer, but I think I'll also take the under 44. I think it'll be like a 20-17, maybe like a 24-17, maybe a couple field goals in there, but I don't think that many points scored. We'll see.
I think that's a good call. I like the under in this. It's a really low under, 44, like you said. Like that's a low number for an NFL game, even if anything. But it's tempting. It's tempting. I do think, like you said, the wind was a huge factor in that first game. Josh Allen did get some tips on how to warm up thanks to a little blue pill. So I don't know if he takes that advice. I've heard from some other people that have played in some very cold environments that this is not the worst thing that they've ever done. Also gets you jacked up and ready to go, gets the blood flowing, feeling good. Mac Jones is the limiting factor here. Josh Allen's he's not been good in the cold, but he plays in it a lot. Like you said, he's got a hose. Like, he can throw. He actually threw the ball really well in that first game in Buffalo when the wind was 50 mile an hour, this, that, and the other way. His receivers couldn't catch the damn ball, and that really killed him. Everybody's back for him. Cole Beasley, Gabriel Davis, they've been playing. They've actually been really running the ball very, very well, Buffalo, with Singletary. They've got him mixed into the game. I don't see the Bills letting New England pound it down their throat again, but who the hell knows? It is Bill Belichick. That is the scariest possible thing. The Bills did get over that we haven't won a playoff game in 20-plus years last year. They won 2 playoff games. That's always a big hump. I'm going to take the Bills -4 here. I think this is a good line. It's hard to sleep on on Belichick, but Buffalo pretty handily beat them in New England to win the division, essentially. Mac Jones he's not there yet. I still like what I see from Mac Jones. I know people like to shit on Mac Jones because they overhyped him a little bit. Could the Patriots win the Super Bowl with this great defense and Mac Jones? Mac Jones does the right thing. He takes care of the ball. He's a little limited. It'll get there. Tom Brady was also very limited in his first 3 Super Bowls. Go back and watch them. He had a couple of drives to win a Super Bowl, and look what he turned into. He turned into the GOAT. So there's potential there to always improve. This is a spot for Buffalo. This is kind of a show-me game, if anything. Belichick doesn't need to do anything. If Belichick wins this game, he's a god, I think. And the Bills will never be able to sleep at night ever again if they lose this playoff game to the Patriots. So Bills cover. I'm going to take the over on this one.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because I think the under is a little ratty. I think I don't know what the total the percentage is here on the under, but I think it's probably higher than. It's actually 43%, so it's actually a lot of overs. I mean, I like it either way because I think it's a little ratty to take the under, but I like your over.
It's cold. It is cold. The weather is bad, but we've seen some quarterbacks put up some points. I mean, we just saw Rodgers put up 30 or whatever in 0-degree temperatures, similar thing. I think the Bills get to about 20, 24 points here maybe. They maybe kick a field goal, a chippy, and then Patriots, I think the Patriots get 17 points right here, so get you 30, 42. It's right there. Close. It'll be close. I think the Patriots score more than we expect here. But I expect the Bills to come out strong. I could be totally wrong here on Buffalo. This feels a little bit like a ratty game. Like you said, the Bills are the better team, better quarterback. Bill Belichick is a scary man. The line's only 4. I wonder what is Bill Belichick, 2 points for the Patriots, 3 points against... but McDermott's not a bad coach, so it's not a huge mismatch. All right, rolling over to Sunday morning. Nice noon kickoff in Tampa, Philly at Tampa. I don't see the Eagles winning this game?
No, I don't think anyone does. I actually want to look at the money line here and see how many people are even taking the Eagles. 37%, which is way more than I think. I mean, it's plus 310.
That's
So
good. I mean, that's
it's good money coming back if you bet them. But uh, yeah, I mean, we're gonna play this quarterback game every single game, every single matchup here. I think we all know who the better quarterback in this one is. I just don't. And they also have Levante David coming back. They have
Fournette,
Lenny coming back,
and
they
they
have
got Gio.
they might have Shaq Barrett coming back too.
Shaq Barrett and Gio Bernard. Nobody's talking about Gio Bernard. Was a lost piece of art. Tom Brady dumped down to the running back. He's a master at that. So yeah, big. Tampa Bay's getting healthy and they're at home.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay and the over is pretty easy on this one. I think Philly might score 10, 15. I'm sorry, 10 or 17 maybe. But I think Tom and the gang will score at least 30, and the over will be hit pretty handily, at least in the beginning of the fourth quarter, mid of the fourth quarter. 8.5, I think, is an easy number. I don't know.
It's a little
might be ratty too.
Yeah, it's a little scary. 8.5. It's a little scary for me, but I get it. Eagles never been in the play. Jalen Hurts never played in the playoffs. Nick Sirianni obviously never been. Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, all those guys. They got a lot of experience. They are the champs. They know what it takes. They've never played a home playoff game, so maybe that could mess with them. Tom Brady's numbers at home are just gaudy. I don't have them in front of me, but I know they were insane, and he added to them last week against Carolina. Going into it, so he's a home. He likes some home cooking right there. Eagles have a tall task. They went 9-8 in the worst division in football, so they didn't really. They were just. They were more impressive than people thought they were going to be, but nothing too scary here. They're so run-heavy, reliant. Tampa Bay's run defense is probably the best part of their team. If you're going to beat Tampa, you're going to have to throw the ball against them. That front seven has been very, very good for them. Antoine Winfield is a jack-of-all Swiss Army knife. He can rover up to the line of scrimmage. So Tampa is a little ratty at 8.5. But I'm not too afraid of it. What's the money? 63, I think. 62 to 38% on the line right here. Good. Over feels good, too. 46. That's a pretty low number for a Tom Brady offense. I think Buccaneers get to 30. And so Philly's just got to get 15. I could see the Eagles getting to 17 right here. Especially if you get a turnover, big play. Who knows? Jalen Hurts can always make something happen there. He does have a little knack for playmaking ability. So Tampa and the over, good bet here. Next game, this is probably the game I'm most looking forward to just from a football standpoint. Niners and the Cowboys. I feel bad for the Cowboys. They had a great season, and they drew probably the hottest team or maybe the most frightening team to get in from the wild card position in San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at this game initially and thought San Francisco is going to win this game, +3. But they're also playing a team that just put up 50 points twice in the last 3 games, so they're going to put up their offense is clicking at the right time.
It was a JV team in Philly. It was a JV team last week in Philly.
It's a professional football team that all get paid. They all get paid to play football.
Allegedly.
So let's keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the money and a lot of the bets are on San Francisco because of how hot they've been. So honestly, it's not because I have people that will be very angry if I don't pick the Cowboys. But I am going to pick the Cowboys -3. I think I'm just looking at the bets here. Everyone's taking San Francisco. Everybody is. Everyone's riding the hot hand. Going back to that quarterback deal, San Francisco is one of the teams that they want to get rid of this guy, and he took him to the Super Bowl. He was in the lead in the third quarter in a Super Bowl. He's led this team 9-7 and had a really good second half.
Looked great against.
So everyone's on.
Looked great against the Rams last week,
and on a really good run. Deebo Samuel has come alive. He is
jack of all trades.
He's the new hybrid, whatever you call it, hybrid running back, hybrid running. He even threw the ball last week.
My man threw a touchdown last week. Deebo.
So he does it. He does everything. So they have all the weapons, but I think Dallas has been cruising. Their offense has been cruising, and obviously they didn't even have Micah and Trayvon Diggs didn't even play last week hardly. So they're well rested. Micah Parsons is probably the best linebacker in football right now. Maybe has been the entire year. Best front line in football. Offense is coming alive. They're clicking as well. I'll take them -3, but I am going to take the under. I think 51 is a little too much.
Ooh, okay.
I think both teams have scored quite a bit. I think it'll be like a 28 to let's say 28-24, 28-20 maybe.
Yeah.
28-21. I think there'll be a lot of points, but 51 just also seems a little ratty. I think people are going to pick a lot of overs, so we'll take the under.
I agree. This has got a rat line. This is ratty all over the place. The 3 points is ratty. I get the San Francisco bets. Dallas is still the favorite. They're at home. Let's be honest, not much of a home field advantage in Dallas. Been to that stadium. I'm sure you have as well. It's just it's hard to generate the noise there. The fans are kind of off the field. It is, any Sunday afternoon game. It's going to be sold out. Niner fans travel well. Niners are hot. Jimmy G, like you said, we look at the quarterbacks. I think it's about a push, especially the way Jimmy G's been playing. Dak has struggled when they can't run the ball, is his only knock. San Francisco can stop the run. They're not great on the back end. There is a big mismatch with Dallas wide receivers or San Francisco DBs. So they're going to have to spread it out. They're going to rely on Dak. Dak, he's 1-2 in playoff games. He won a nice game against the Seahawks, but pounded the rock again. Another run-heavy game. I think San Francisco's going to attack right at Dallas's defense. They're going to run. I think they're running away from Micah Parsons. Terrell thinks they're running at Micah Parsons. I don't know which one they're going to do. Like you said, Debo is a Swiss Army knife. I do like San Francisco here +3. Now, there's been a lot of talk that everyone likes San Francisco win this game. I think Dallas wins this game, though. I just don't think they cover. I think this is a 1-point game. It's going to be a close one. I could see Dallas blowing out San Francisco. A lot of talk. They open up the offense. The offense has been a little up and down for my liking. The defense really kind of saved them or kept them around in the middle of that season there. So interesting. Kellen Moore, who knows? I'm sure he's focused, but he could be looking. Word is he's got his eyes to the great up north for a new head coaching job that he wants. So this is kind of this is a prove-it game for Dak, and I like prove-it games for quarterbacks because, Dak's got that big contract. You got to prove it, baby. You won 12 games. You got to go win me some playoff games now. So big pressure on Dak here. I think this is a really good game. I agree with you. I think it's the under here. People are going to be biting on that over because of the offenses. I think this is more of a feel-it-out kind of game. Dallas plays a little slow. The Niners trying to gash it down their throat. They shorten this game up, maybe struggle a little bit in the red zone. Trayvon Diggs is very hit or miss. Do you take the risk? It's either a 40-yard gain or a pick. And, if you hit with that, it's good. If you miss, it's bad. It costs you a possession.
I think the Debo-Trayvon Diggs matchup is going to be the biggest matchup of the game. If Debo can burn him a couple times, that could be a big difference in the game.
Which is interesting because Debo's not really. They don't really go down the field with Debo. So maybe he's toasting them. They start running crossing routes with him, and that's a real problem too. If you hit Debo dead sprint, run across the field, and he's got space. But like you said, who knows where Micah Parsons just find his way somewhere to be around the ball. So I'm going to take the Niners, and I'm going to take the under here. I think the Cowboys win a 1-point game. Like you said, let's go 24-21, maybe 27-24. Right around there. It's kind of getting sketchy right at 51. Expect a really good game. Everybody should watch this game. This should be the best game of the weekend. But then again, when we predict the best game of the weekend, when everyone says, oh, this is definitely going to be the best game of the weekend, it's probably the worst game of the weekend. And a game we don't even see. Maybe this next game, which everyone thinks is going to be a blowout, is just a fantastic game. Pittsburgh, Kansas City, your Sunday night affair. Big Ben's final hurrah, Scott? Is this the end of the line? Or does he keep it going?
Yeah, it's over for him. I do think Pittsburgh is going to come out and back up his quarterback a little bit. They're at Kansas City. Last time they played, they were in Pittsburgh and they lost by 26. The line was 10.5 in that one. This one's going to be 12.5. And I still just think Pittsburgh. It's just another one of those kind of Alabama, Georgia picks kind of thing. You want to pick Alabama. because if Georgia ends up winning, like, all right, well, you picked Alabama. Well, if you want to pick Kansas City to cover, and Pittsburgh ends up covering, you're like, oh no, that's cool, whatever. But man, Pittsburgh could easily get blown out in this one. But I also think they could run the ball a little bit, and they could at
Show
least
some
keep the
fight.
gap to 10,
Fight.
10 or 7.
Yep.
Um, with Ben being probably done after this one, it's tough to watch him right now. Very tough to watch. He could throw you a beautiful deep ball one play, and then the next one he just throws up a dead bird. And some of those passes to Chase Claypool, I'm like, man, you are washed, bro. You probably should have hung it up last year.
Yes, but he got
sometimes has that magic.
He
He
got
can't
back.
move anymore. He's a statue, but he's got decent weapons. He has Najee Harris. He has Chase Claypool. Like I said, if Deontay
Juju practiced today. Maybe Juju comes
and
back.
Deontay are both playing, that can help him too. But I don't see them winning. If I was actually putting money on this game, if I were to actually bet this game, I'd probably just say no. I'm not betting this game. This is not a game you bet on. You watch it, and it could literally go in either way. Like I said, spreads 12.5, over/under is 46.5. Even the over/under, you could say that, man, Kansas City could put up 38 like it did last time they played, and Pittsburgh could put up a big goose egg, or put up to 21 to cover the over/under. So
34-10.
this
40,
one,
there you go. Just right the under. 34-10.
this
Easy
one,
win.
this one is just
It's ugly.
this is an ugly game. I wish it was a little. I hope it's a little prettier. But I'm gonna take Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Just because I don't know. I dogged on Kansas City earlier in the year covering spreads. They have picked it up as of late. But this is the playoffs. Never know what's gonna happen here. They have last 2 games have not covered. But I don't know how much that actually means. Yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh plus 12.5, and I think I'll take the under. You know what? I think if I'm taking Pittsburgh, you almost have to take the over.
Points.
Because as we know, you're gonna have to score points against Kansas City to even stay in the game. So we'll take Pittsburgh and take the over 46.5.
I like you said, like all that. Last 2 didn't cover. They were 3.5-point favorites at Cincinnati. That's a tough line to cover for anybody. 11 against Denver. In Denver, another awkward line. Defense hasn't looked great for Kansas City. That's the one thing I'd be worried about. They haven't been great down the stretch. The offense has been a little inconsistent, but they're kind of rolling. Everybody's on Pittsburgh to get their ass kicked. Bets are 56-44, which is pretty good. Pittsburgh's the largest dog in wildcard history from a points total. 12.5, largest wildcard dog. There you go. So I'm going to take Kansas City here. Kansas City tends to win these games. They tend to cover these games in the playoffs. They spot teams. Kansas City could be down in this game 10-0, and they cover the spread like it's no business. We've seen it like a dozen times already in the playoffs. Experience, not an issue for either team here. Mike Tomlin, Ben, obviously. We got 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Like you said, Pittsburgh managed, 20 points last week, I think, against a terrible
16.
Yeah, 16 and went to overtime. Now, the weather wasn't great in Baltimore, but that's a bad defense in Baltimore. They have nobody on the back end. Joe Burrow torched them for 10 touchdowns and 1,100 yards in 2 games. So, not good. Pittsburgh's back end's not very good either. We watched Minnesota hang 29 on them like it was nothing and a half, basically. So, Kansas City gets this thing right. Now, they are a little banged up. No Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's 50-50. He didn't practice today. Their run game kind of goes through him. If they don't have him, they can't run the ball, which is really weird because it used to be Clyde is, dicking up our run game, and now he's kind of everything for them. So, it is a little scary. I'm going to take Kansas City, and I'm actually going to take the under here. I think this is an awkward kind of middling game, maybe a game that's a little closer than you'd like later.
I think just like kind of what I just talked about, like if you're going to take Pittsburgh, you almost have to take the over. If you take Kansas City, you almost have to take the under. I think they both got to be paired together.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect analogy, like you said. Perfect pairing for that. Pittsburgh could get it to an early lead. You never know. This kind of feels like a 27-10, 13 game. but it's really a little bit closer than you like. Maybe it's a 17-10 game in the third quarter, and you're like, well, what's Kansas City doing? What are they doing? And then they score 10 unanswered in the fourth quarter, and it's like, okay, the Chiefs, took care of business. They got a little healthy. They got the games next week that they got to look forward to. So, yeah, I'm with that. Hopefully it's a good game. I mean, you don't want to see. Hopefully Ben plays well. They don't have. Just don't go out with a whimper. Go out on top for a Hall of Fame career. And with that, we go to our first ever Monday night playoff game. I kind of hate this. It's such a huge advantage for whoever gets the winner of this game. Probably going to be Tampa Bay, I would assume. Maybe it's the Packers. But Cardinals-Rams, another divisional matchup. Those two teams know each other. Two teams maybe trending in the opposite direction. Rams got hot, finished the season strong, won that division. Cardinals did not, and they lost that division. I don't know what they did on the year. Something tells me they split, but I couldn't tell you.
They did split. Yeah, so the first game, DeAndre Hopkins was playing, and I think that's really the big thing. DeAndre Hopkins played, Cardinals win. DeAndre Hopkins didn't play last game. Rams win. But both teams had the over in both of those, 51 and 54. The underdogs actually won in both of those games, which might be a trend. I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but I think in this one, once again, going back to quarterbacks here, Kyler hasn't really played in the playoffs. Neither has Matt Stafford. But one of them has been in the league a lot longer and actually understands the playoffs a little more. I think LA has a better weapons. Cooper Kupp, your touchdown leader, your receiving leader, your receiving yards leader, Triple Crown. They have a pretty good running back. They got Sonny Michel. They have Darrell Henderson.
Cam Akers activated, ready to go off that Achilles.
If they got Cam Akers too, even more. That's going to help a lot for them. Cardinals, they don't have as many weapons, except for James Conner will help out a lot. Christian Kirk maybe a little bit, but AJ Green, what kind of an older AJ Green, not quite the AJ Green we know from the Bengals. They are playing at LA. The spread is 4. Over-under is a little lower than the last two matchups. It's actually 49.5. There must be something with that. It's definitely a little. It's usually around the same when two teams have already played each other, both overs hit, and then you have this third game and the over-under is lower than the first two games. So something might be a little up with that. That makes not as much sense. Usually you're going to put it in between or put it higher than 54. But obviously, DeAndre Hopkins isn't going to play in this one, so that's one weapon that's not going to be there for Arizona. I think I'm going to take LA -4. I don't like how Kyler's been playing lately. He's one of those players that he starts off really hot, but he's one of those kind of reckless sort of. I wouldn't say reckless, but he's one of those players that uses his body.
Gets banged up
throughout the entire season and gets banged up, gets hit, slides, always scrambling. And when he gets hit, usually, it's a decent hit. He's a smaller guy, 5'11", maybe if that.
He's not
5'10".
He's not that.
And he's not weighed that much. He probably doesn't weigh more than 200 pounds. So he gets beat up. He runs around. At this point in the season, you're pretty hurt. You're not quite Baker Mayfield hurt, but you're feeling the effects of the year. Matt Stafford hasn't gotten hit near as much. He's got a great offensive line. I think a healthier Matt Stafford against a more banged up Kyler with better weapons at home. You're only giving up 4 points. I think that's a pretty easy take for me. So I'll take LA -4. And like I said, it's 51 and 54 in the first two games, and then we throw a 49.5 there. I'm almost tempted to take the under just because it doesn't make much sense to me. And I think I will.
Okay.
I'm not actually putting any money on it. So
yeah, no.
I'll take LA -4 and then the under 49.5. Even though this seems like a classic over matchup with these two offenses, but I don't know. Something screams under at me, so I don't know what's going on.
Now, okay, so this is what we like to call J.J. Watt's coming back for Arizona. That's going to be a big plus. He gave a nice little sarcastic answer in his presser where they asked him, are you going to be playing football on Sunday? And he said, I will not be playing football on Sunday. And it was kind of like, but nobody really got it because they're not playing on Sunday. They're playing on Monday. So, J.J. Watt, little sneaky man. Cliff and Kyle, this is a prove it game. This is what we like to call a prove it game. There's a lot of people that got to prove it. Sean McVay, prove it game. coaching? What is the whiz kid? It's Matt Stafford. Never won a playoff game. Can he actually win a big game for once? He doesn't have the Lions. He's got all the help he can get. Cliff Kingsbury's disaster, absolute disaster down the stretch in his coaching career as a head coach. I have this up, but there's something up with Kyler. He's a little banged up, but he's getting a little. Here we go. Cliff Kingsbury's a head coach to end his seasons. Lost 4 out of 5, 4 out of 6, 6 out of 8, 6 out of 8, 5 out of 5, 7 of 9, and 6 of 9. And one of the wins was by a Hail Mary, and then he lost 4 out of 5 to end the season. So Cliff Kingsbury, people get film on him. Toast. They know him. And I don't think it's necessarily all his fault. Kyler, I like Kyler as a quarterback. I think he's great. He's kind of a piece of shit. And he has the worst body language in the world. He blames everybody but himself when things start going wrong. He has one of the highest sack percentage rates in the NFL. Offensive line isn't perfect. But Kyler, that's also on you, dude. You got to get rid of the ball sometimes. Get out of there. Aaron Donald's a problem. He's a real problem. And Aaron Donald could, I think, run with Kyler, which is even more frightening. So you ain't getting around that man. And he's about the same height as you, so he can look you. He's going to be looking right at you. It's a scary thing. Can't use that agility to what he'd like. This is a prove it game for Kyler. Really, really needs to prove it. Can't let this body language get to you, because if the Rams get out to an early lead, which I expect, I think they're going to come out firing, guns a-blazing, get out to a quick start. It's more the end of the game where I'd be a little bit worried about Stafford and the bunch. Does Kyler fold? Does Kyler get pissy, start blaming people? A.J. Green drops a ball, like you said, on a third down, and he just shuts it down and starts blaming him for it. I like the Rams -4 here. I think Sean McVay is the better coach. I think Matt Stafford is the better quarterback. Similar, but better. He's been in 2 playoff games. He's lost 2 playoff games. Probably should have won his second playoff game in Detroit against Dallas. Had a controversial flag picked up in that game. So I like him here. Offense is rolling. OBJ has been the opposite of a cancer for this team. Jalen Ramsey, a lockdown corner. Taking away Christian Kirk. I don't even know who they're taking away there. I expect Zach Ertz to be the go-to man. Now, the running game is the thing. Connor Edmonds, good 1-2 punch. They're both healthy. That's big for the Cardinals. Maybe that help open things up. Like you said, they're a different team without Hopkins. I'm also going to take the under because it feels really, really it feels sketch. It feels a little sketchy. Cardinals offense is why it's sketchy. They've struggled a little bit here. The Rams offense has been okay, not as explosive, but maybe they're a little more conservative in the playoffs. You score 27, 28 points, 31 points, and the other team 15 points. The only thing I'd be worried about is Arizona's defense got, absolutely carved up by Penny last week in Seattle. When all they had to do was win and they would have won the division, and this game would be in Arizona and not in LA. So it was a big game that they let slip against a very mediocre Seahawks team. So that's the only thing I'd be concerned about here is can the Rams just smash it down their throat? Because we know Sean McVay does not have any problem. He'll run it 30 times. He doesn't give a shit. Even though he's known as the flashy offensive guy, he likes running the football, which is a big plus for them. Should be a good game, prove-it game for everybody. I think Matt Stafford proves it, and I think we're seriously talking about Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray's future together in Arizona at the end of this game. Hot take, maybe. This might be a hot take. I don't know.
Could be a hot take.
Hot take. So yeah, I think that's it. I like this for you. What do you think, Scott? I like this kind of like this format for the playoffs the rest of the way down here.
I think I do too. Maybe for the Super Bowl, we'll do kind of a similar deal with the national championship. Hopefully, I do a little better than that. But 6 games. We can start our money thing back up after football's over. But I like picking over unders in all these games. Maybe a few props here and there. But we'll see what happens. This NFL is not my thing, but.
It's a good.
I'm gonna be excited to watch it. So.
Always, everyone get in front of the TVs. And next week's honestly, this is a good week. Next week's the best week probably. Some say maybe the end of the championship weekend, but next week we're gonna have Saturday, Sunday cooking still. Plenty of games for everybody to watch. So yeah, that's gonna do it for us this week. Again, watch it for the tab. No money here, not professionals this anymore. Just giving the good advice. Super Bowl should be fun. We can do a lot of props. We get national anthem bets over here. Gatorade colors. Maybe we'll do a pool. I know Terrell and I have done a pool in the past. Get other people involved. $10 pool, $5 pool, and most bets right gets a little cash payout for us. So yeah, again, we'll see y'all next week for the divisional round.